Oh, I was muted. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Apocaflix Now, the movie hangout show from Apocaflix Movies. I'm your host, Jacob Bartley. I am joined by Brian Avellino, Gio Ramos, and Jake Berlin. Hopefully, Keith Barnes is going to be joining us tonight because, well, we're going to need him on the show later. I didn't want to spoil anything, actually, but also it's a fun topic today, talking Halloween movies. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Doing well. Gio's been traveling all over the state.
Country,
really.
Can't
LA.
keep him down.
You went to Oregon and then you went to LA. I mean, you're kind of all over the place, man.
Nevada, Oregon, LA,
Arizona in 2 weeks.
going to Arizona. I'm like, damn, bro.
I'm trying to drag
clearly
Jake.
using that unemployment money to his benefit right now.
Do it. That's what my sister's doing.
Might as well.
My sister is all over. In fact, she just came back from Oregon too. What's going on in Oregon? Am I missing
Oregon's a
something?
beautiful state. That's why
It's beautiful out there. They pump your own gas, dude.
they do.
No,
If you get
really?
in your car, they shoot you.
no sales tax.
Yeah,
Really? If you get
Interesting.
it's one of those where you
They won't let you get out of your car. They actually get offended if you get out of your car.
I know New Jersey does that, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
Oregon is one of the last places as well that does it.
Huh. Interesting. Weird.
Definitely. Yeah, that would be kind of odd, but hey, I'm down. I don't have to touch the gas pumps and all that, so I'm totally down for that.
Germaphobe.
But yeah, so today we are going to talk some Halloween movies, but as always, we are definitely going to be covering our movie watching challenge. And while we wait for Keith, we will do the first part of this, which is Gio reviewing the film that he was challenged to, which was the Jack Black classic Orange County. So Gio, what are your thoughts, man?
So I just saw this movie today. I didn't know much about it at all. Around this time, Jack Black, School of Rock. So he was just starting to, be a presence in Hollywood. He did smaller roles up until that point. But so I start the movie, and up until about the first 35 minutes, I hated it. I wanted to turn it off. I thought about it. But it was only an hour and 22 minutes. So I'm just like, come on, Joe, you can make it. And the further along I got into it, I started enjoying it more. Now, this movie is just one of those early 2000s. It's just comedy, dumb side characters, and things just happen that are just like, okay, just go along with it. And thankfully, I was rewarded, especially in the third act. I didn't know Orange County has a very solid, wide cast. It has Kevin Kline in it. Harold Ramis, rest in peace.
Oh, wow.
Is in there. John Lithgow, I think his name is pronounced. The mom from Home Alone.
Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah, Catherine O'Hara. Jack Black, of course. So I was amazed by just the number of faces that popped up in this MTV Films produced movie. And what's even better is that some of the comedic writing for these actors, these well-known actors, it actually was pretty damn good. I could see why they wanted to be a part of this movie. Now, am I going into spoilers or no? I mean, it's an 18-year-old movie.
It's old. You can
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I think you're fine.
Okay, so for me, the scene stealer was definitely Harold Ramis. Rest in peace. He is a comedic genius. He plays the, I think, a director of admissions for Stanford. The kid's trying to get into Stanford after a mishap with his what do they call it? Transcript. Yeah. So he's in there, and some of the funniest moments happen with him. Like, he accidentally gets slipped drugs, and then he starts acting all like funny and weird, and it's gold for Harold Ramis. I absolutely enjoyed that. This movie, the main character, like I said, his main MO is trying to get into Stanford, but at the very end of the movie, he decides not to go because one of the writers that he really looks up to happens to be a professor at Stanford. And so he conversates with him, and the professor, the writer, played by Kevin Kline, tells him that you don't need to move away to be a great writer. You don't have to relocate to be a great writer. And I thought that was very that spoke to me, especially in today's climate with media, blogging, what we do. You know, when we started early on, we thought, you know, hey, at some point we may have to move down to LA. And that's where a lot of the people who we look up to are at, you know, SCN Live, Collider, the old AMC Movie Talk crew. But with internet today, and especially right now, the Zooms, the live streams, you could literally be anywhere. You don't have to relocate. You can be in your comfort zone, your home area if you wanted to, and still make a career. So I thought what the movie did with that story aspect really spoke to me. And by the end of the movie, I was smiling. I had a smile on my face, and I was like, man, that's kind of real good.
Wow.
Coming of age, albeit dumb at times, but hey, you know what? You go along with it and you have fun. Blackjack is terrific.
Jack Black, not Blackjack.
Blackjack.
You spent too much time in
Blackjack?
Vegas, bro. Too
Just
much time in Vegas.
Yeah.
my bad.
Hitting
I
them
went to Vegas 2
casinos.
weeks ago, and last week I went to Thunder Valley Casino. So I'm just
For those of you who just joined us, to make sure, Gio is currently reviewing this Orange County.
Orange County.
Yeah,
And
never.
for those of you who may be joining us for the very first time, we actually do a segment on the show called Movie Watching Challenge, where each of us challenge someone to watch a movie each week that they've never seen. And Brian challenged Gio this past week, and it seems like it was a successful challenge.
Yes, thumbs up. I very much liked the
Yay.
movie. Good job, Brian. It really spoke to me for the reasons I stated, and I do recommend watching it. It's a fun movie, so check it out.
I'm actually surprised, to be honest, that he enjoyed it so much.
Me too. I thought it could be hit or miss with you. I'm not surprised in the slightest that at first you didn't like it, because I was the exact same way. I was like, am I really gonna like this movie? Is so stupid. And then it kind of gets
amazing.
No. It starts off like
Oh.
Jack Black's being like ridiculous, and it's just like, okay. And then it like gets a little bit deeper, and then you're like, oh, this is really, really good.
Stuff with the transcripts. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but come on, it wouldn't go to that extent. But
Well, even if it did happen on accident, they would fix it, you know?
yeah, you just go with it, and then, like I said, the cast, the recognizable faces, some of the comedic writing that they have to work with, it really, really does pay off and work, and some of the best laughs come from them. So
Wow.
Sweet. Yay.
Well, honestly, I had no interest in ever watching this movie, but after hearing Gio's review of it, now I want to watch it.
hey, I rented it for $3.99 for I have it for 48 more hours. If you want to borrow it, I'll just give you my login.
There you
Nice.
go.
There we go. I might have to. Hey, it's a short watch too. I was looking at the IMDb, and it's directed by Jake Kasdan,
Yep.
which is Lawrence
Lawrence's
Kasdan's
son.
son, and he directs the new Jumanji movies, which is interesting because Jack Black is in those movies, so he's worked with Jack Black
Yeah,
before.
someone else. Colin
Who
Hanks
else?
is in those.
Who?
Colin Hanks plays the older version of
Does he?
Yeah.
what's the
Oh my
character's
goodness.
name? Is it Nick
That's
Jonas's?
totally
Nick Jonas.
why.
He plays Nick Jonas's real life version. That's what it is.
Really?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. See, I mean, they're buddies from making this movie, and then
for
they
sure.
work together again on this. That's
sure.
awesome. Well, I'm definitely interested in checking out Orange County. So Keith was
Sweet.
challenged next by Gio, and I'm assuming, do we want to wait for Keith to cover that part?
Yeah, let's wait for Keith.
Obviously,
to
he
cover
has
that.
to
We'll go ahead and move on to our news story.
Awesome. Well, it wouldn't be Tuesday without some news. So Jake, what do we got for them today?
Yeah, so I know that the thumbnail says we're going to talk Halloween movies. We're going to talk that about the 30-minute mark. We're going to go quick. We have a couple big news stories to cover that we obviously want to talk about here on the channel. And the first is that it was revealed this past week that not one, not two, but possibly 3 members of the DCE universe would be joining Zack Snyder's Justice League. The first official character that was confirmed was none other than Jared Leto's Joker will in fact be making a return to the DCEU to portray his version of the character from Suicide Squad in Zack Snyder's film. We thought that might be it, but it was followed up by Joe Manganiello coming back as Deathstroke, after the recut post-credit scene that was shot by Joss Whedon with him. That seems like that'll be getting its fruition that we've been waiting for. And the one rumored character that is officially not official, but on the brink of officially joining the movie as well, of course, is Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, the one big character from the other DC side that has yet to appear alongside any of these superheroes. Obviously, Ben Affleck was in Suicide Squad, so it might make sense. And with Joker appearing as well, and it possibly being for that flashback sequence of said Robin's death, it might make sense for her to be there as well. So I know it's only right that I go to this gentleman first. He is our resident DCEU.
You mean to be pointing to me, right?
Sorry.
No. So, Gio, I know we don't want to go too much into this, obviously, but we also want to touch on it because we don't know any details about how much it is or what their involvement is. It could very much just be for one scene or whatever it is. But just overall thoughts on this happening.
Ooh, this is a lot to take in, guys. All right, so I'm going to try and be brief because I know we have a 3-hour DC watch-along on Friday, which I'm going to go way more into this. So,
oh, God, I forgot.
Okay. Yep, that's right. All right, so check it out. I am a fan of Jared Leto's Joker, okay? It wasn't anything that was like Oscar-worthy level, but I wasn't expecting that to be, especially coming from David Ayer and a method actor like Jared Leto. Okay, I thought for a real-world Joker who would be into crime, he played a gangster Joker who was believable, who was intimidating, definitely made it his own. It wasn't like any portrayal of Joker that I've seen in live action. And for me, that's a good thing. I don't want all these people trying to be like Heath Ledger or Jack Nicholson or whatnot, because then it gets old and then you start getting tired of the character. All right. I want new, different iterations. And now he's going to work with Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder made an older Batman look pretty cool. He made a Superman that was relatable. He made Aquaman a laughing character, a badass. And now he gets to do his own take on Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, on Jared Leto's Joker, and Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke. And remember, there was a rumored scene that I believe was shot where Deathstroke, it's an action sequence where he breaks out Lex Luthor from prison. That might be in the cards. I'm excited for that. And the last thing I'll say, there was a rumor that Ben Affleck will be doing not just Zack Snyder's Justice League, but more projects. That's kind of been confirmed with the Flashpoint and him returning. But the fact that Joe Manganiello is coming back as Deathstroke, Jared Leto's coming back as Joker, Harley Quinn's coming back as, or Margot Robbie coming back as Harley Quinn, they're not signing on just for a quick appearance, especially Deathstroke and Jared Leto's Joker. There's something planned, and I think that something planned has to do with Ben Affleck's original script that he co-wrote with Jeff Johns, and I think we're going to see that in a limited, high-budget HBO Max series. So I'm excited for this. There's so much more to dive into, but this is exciting stuff.
These are my exact thoughts right here. I don't want Joker in anything else other than this scene.
I was gonna bring that up too
because
if they show that. Wow.
Because one, obviously this needs to be shown. We saw it in BVS, him looking at the suit, and it's like an obvious tease, right, to that stuff. But two, Joker would have never appeared in the theatrical version of Zack Snyder's Justice League if it had actually gone through as planned outside of that scene. I don't need anything else outside of that scene because that just means he's adding stuff on that wasn't added before. And so I want to see what his original take was. If it's just Jared Leto for one scene, I'm cool with it. If it's Joe Manganiello for the one breakout scene, I'm cool with it. The question I have is, why does Harley Quinn come into play if it's not that flashback scene? Because we had never heard anything before about her being in a Justice League movie. There wasn't a single snippet of anything being in Justice League other than when this all came to fruition and it officially going in HBO Max for a 4-part series, essentially. And so I have a question about that one. The other two could fit as long as they're not in odd places. Like if they fit in right places, like if it is in fact just a breakout scene with Deathstroke. And trust me, I'm a Deathstroke fanboy. Like, I think the character is so badass. I've been wanting the character on screen for a very, very long time. And if it is setting something up for Ben Affleck Batman, I'm all cool with it. But if it's anything more than that, I'm not going to like it because it's supposed to be Justice League. Like, it's supposed to be just about Aquaman, Flash, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Batman, and Superman. Like, and not to mention, you also have Darkseid and like that whole side of it as well. Like, I just don't want it to get muddled. And with all of these announcements, I have a feeling that it might just be a slight muddle because they're adding so many layers to it outside of just the core pieces of the Justice League.
Yep, I agree with you. I do.
Chuck's comment is like so spot on. Like, you know that's gonna happen. You know that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a very violent
And
scene.
now
Yeah.
Gio needs a shirt that says Schneider gonna Schneider.
It's going to be a blood drop slowly hitting the ground as you hear more crowbar
So
sound.
that means they're gonna have
It's
to
gonna be
cast
brutal.
a Dick Grayson
Yep.
in this. Is it Dick Grayson? Right? Who-
No, it's
Jason Todd.
Jason
Oh,
Todd.
Jason Todd, right?
It's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
gentleman
okay.
who eventually turns into Red Hood.
They might not even show his face. They literally might just
I mean,
show
no
him getting the
offense.
crap beat out
Well,
of him.
if that's the case, then he's not really dead if they ever followed that. But I like that because then Dick Grayson is off being Nightwing somewhere. I'll just go ahead. I think this is cool. Why not? Like, it's not like we're getting Justice League 2 and we know all this is coming and then they're throwing all these characters into a Justice League 2. This is a completely different thing. They're doing Zack Snyder's going to get to see his vision sought out on HBO Max. And essentially, I mean, it's going to be in a movie style, but it's basically a 4-part miniseries like we've talked about. And
It's going to be 8 hours, I think.
if they said this is a 2.5 hour movie, there's no way all this stuff fits. But for a 8-hour 4-part miniseries, whatever,
That's what I think they're gonna do.
that
Same.
works
Why
great.
cast someone?
And especially you can throw all these things in because, I mean, I love this because it reminds me of the comics where you have all these characters popping up here and there. And I agree with both of you. Like, I'm excited for what it could mean, but I don't want it to be like Joker and Harley Quinn don't fit into the Darkseid and Steppenwolf and the Mother boxes and all. They don't fit into that stuff at all. So if you're showing the death of Robin scene in a way to reflect the Batman character in the present, what's going on with him, then, and maybe it ties into him being protective over Flash and he kind of sees Flash as a new mentor and it reminds him of his previous mentor who passed away. So they could play with that and show some flashbacks. They could open the movie with the death of Robin's scene and then cut to Batman in modern day. So
I don't mean to cut you off, but you just kind of sparked something. The opening of BVS is the death of Bruce Wayne's parents. Why couldn't it be the death of Robin and the opening of the Justice
I could
League?
see that. I mean, where else is it going to fit? They're going to go into it like randomly in the middle of the movie.
It
No,
could be
they're
a-
gonna-
it could be a
they're gonna be
and-
It's
Either
either gonna
way-
walk by the case, like look at it, and
Let's
then
give it a
flashback.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you, Brian. I agree. Yes.
Yeah. I just think overall, I think this is great for what the Snyder Cut's going to be for HBO Max. I think it's why not?
I want to get to this real quick. And before Gio speaks, I will say I would recommend watching the crappy Justice League version because it'll give you a backstory as to why the release of Snyder Cut was such a serious thing. It might give you a good idea as to why it was such a big movement and why this is such a big deal for DC fans. But Gio might have some other opinion on that.
Actually, I pretty much agree with you. If you've seen watch Batman v Superman first. Come to our watch along on Friday. If you haven't seen it, but
No, she's
If
not
you
gonna be able
watch
to
that-
hear anything because you're not gonna stop talking the whole time.
and then watch Justice League, you'll see a contrast in a lot of things, and it'll hopefully explain. But I'm sure we'll do a watch along for Justice League at some point before.
No,
the
I'm
Snyder Cut.
never giving you HBO Max again after you sabotage the poll.
You sabotage your poll.
Bro, you fully sabotaged the poll.
No. What did you put in your certain point of view live stream? Whatever you did.
Gio, you went to a worldwide fan base to sabotage the poll.
I promoted the.
Let's bring on Keith. Mr. Keith Barnes.
There, I got you back, Gia. I got your back.
Buddy.
Oh goodness.
There was some voter fraud definitely on a couple of people,
Come on.
a couple of parts. Both
That's
parties
not
were,
focused. We should definitely be watching The Nightmare Before Christmas, but whatever.
That's funny. My quick thought on this, since I haven't said anything, I would just, Gio, I would love to see what you're talking about. I would just laugh if it was literally just that end scene
Good job, Chuck.
of them just doing the Legion of Doom. I would laugh. I'm sorry. If it was like everyone's like, they're going to do this, and then this, and then this, and it just ends up being that like 5-10 minute Legion of Doom ending, I'll be
like Deathstroke breaks him out, and then Harley and Joker are there, and they're all, I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. It would just be like, damn.
Hope not. I hope it's more than that.
Keith, quickly, what do you think about Joker, Deathstroke, and possibly Harley Quinn joining Zack Snyder's Justice League? Before we move on.
Great.
Right? It's great. It's great.
Whatever. Look, I'm excited about this. I can't wait. I love Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke.
Yeah,
Deathstroke.
that's such a. They got to do something with him,
But
further. He's such a great casting.
Well, something less cartoonish than what they did in that stupid end credit scene. But if they flesh him out a little bit better, you know, I was looking forward to seeing him as a Batman villain if that was actually going to happen. Maybe it still will. Who knows? But other than that, fine. I would like to see a little more of Heath. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, Jared Leto's Joker. Something more fleshed out. You know, because I don't think we got enough. I thought he was fine, but I can understand
unfair what happened to him.
I could understand why. Well, he's annoying. He's an annoying person. So, but I can understand why people were upset with that performance. But again, I don't think there was enough. We didn't see enough to really judge one way or the other. But I thought he was fine. But I would like to see more from him. I'm just excited to see this movie so that we can see it, talk about it, and then never talk about it again.
How possible, man? They're gonna be
I'm writing, and my pen started going like because I was laughing.
Okay, we could definitely talk about this for like 45
We're gonna dive into
hours.
You definitely got to move on.
Friday.
Yeah, so if you didn't already know, we are doing a watch along this Friday. Perfectly ties in. We are, I'm assuming Batman v Superman won the poll. It was sabotaged, I guess. I don't know what happened. I need to hear.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So Jacob,
backstory behind that.
Yeah, so we'll do a quick one on Friday. On Friday we're gonna do this. 6 p.m. right here on the channel, guys. It'll be right. It'll be a little early because the movie is 3 hours long. And we're going to jump on early and do a watch along, but we'll be right here 6 p.m. Pacific on the channel doing a live watch along to BVS. It is available on HBO Max. I'm sure it's available elsewhere as well, but that's where we'll be watching it. And so join us back here live on Friday for that one.
It's okay because the actual fight's not until 2 hours plus into the movie. So,
so true.
You want to start right now, Keith?
No, please not. But the fight is great. But yeah, so join us. As you can see, it might or may not be a little controversial, a little fun, but that's what we're here.
Cut.
We are, yes,
what we're here to do.
That's the only cut worth watching.
Yeah.
Yes. And so that'll be fun. If you want to see maybe some arguments break out, come join us for our BVS Ultimate Edition watch along. Hey, it's all friendly here though, you know?
Yes.
All right. Well, we have one more news story, Jake, and what is that?
Yeah, so are we
doing Keith's things first?
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah, let's go and move backwards to Keith's challenge. Yeah, so Keith,
yeah,
that's right.
Actually, you know, Brian, this is your thing. Why don't you go ahead and announce the movies, man?
Oh, okay. So Keith was.
Does he get to choose if he wants a poll?
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So do you want to do random 1 through 4 choosing, or do you want the viewers to vote on which movie you watch?
Well, do we reveal them either way? Or?
Yes, after you decide.
We reveal it after you decide.
Gotcha. I couldn't remember that. I'm trying to remember that later. I'll do the random 1 through 4.
Gives you more time to watch it.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
Because then you got to wait for the poll. Right. But I like letting the viewers decide.
Me too. All right. In no specific order, we have for Keith's watch along movie potential choices: Act of Valor,
Ooh.
Awake,
I don't even know what that is.
Rear Window,
Oh.
and The Guest.
Oh man. Oh, please be
Don't-
Rear Window.
Don't you dare say that. Wait, why isn't it going back to
Oh,
normal?
I thought he was going to
There
say
we
he's
go.
seen The Guest for a second.
Me too. I was
I
like,
was like,
don't you
"No,
dare.
Not again.
All
I
right,
have
Keith,
freaking trauma from that day.
on
Did
my
somebody-
board.
Yeah, Jacob, didn't you just watch that, right? A few months ago?
The
Was that
Guest,
yours?
I think
I did.
maybe Gio
I
did,
did.
or somebody did, yeah.
Oh, that was Gio. Yeah. That's right. Okay.
All right. I have a random order of 4 movies.
Okay.
Since you guys say I cheat, I wrote it down so that way you could see. Your choices, sir, are 1 through 4. What is your choice?
3. Please be Rear Window.
The movie that Keith is going to be watching is
Yes.
Oh,
The
There
Guest.
you go.
Yes.
And
I
to
only,
prove,
Proof.
since you guys all say I'm cheaters,
Damn, Brian, you're quick. You got quick hands, man.
I never heard of Awake, but those other 3, I really want to see all 3 of those other ones. So.
Oh, you ever heard of Awake? It has,
No, I never heard of it.
it has that A-lister. What's his name? Hayden Christensen. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh.
yeah, Hayden Christensen. I want to say Jessica Biel.
Really? Oh, wow.
Alba.
Jessica Alba. You're right. And he's getting a surgery and he gets put under, but he's awake during it.
Hey,
and he can
that's not the
feel
movie
it.
that got picked. Stop talking about it. Wait.
Sorry,
Yeah,
fine.
The
Let's
Guest,
explain
fine.
all
The
4
Guest is
movies.
on
real
quick.
Netflix.
Jake's
go. You
excited
The
because
Guest,
that was.
baby.
Ugh.
The Guest. All right.
It's a good Halloween.
It's on
movie for
Netflix,
you.
Keith.
The Beast.
Okay, good. Okay.
And Brendan
Oh.
Meyer's in it from the Schmodown.
Oh, yeah, right. The young guy, right?
The kid.
The kid, yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. I didn't know that.
So
So excited. I'm going to watch it for a 4th time this week.
Man, I still need to watch that movie. Yeah. Maybe I'll watch it just in case.
Gio, you
All
Alrighty,
liked it,
well,
right?
there you go.
Did you like it, Gio?
So next Tuesday, Keith will be reviewing The Guest.
Did you liked it, Gio? Did you?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. That's all. That's all.
Oh yeah.
What's the lead actor's name again?
Dan Stevens.
Dan
Dan Stevens. Yes, he's a
Oh,
great
man.
actor.
Downton Abbey. Oh, okay.
Legion too.
Love
He's
him.
Legion.
He's in Legion. That's right.
Beauty and the Beast.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yes. All right.
Alrighty, well now we can move on to our last news story here.
Yeah, so this, and we'll have to go quick because we do want to get to our Halloween movies, but this one was announced today. This was definitely a shocker. There's been some rumblings about this lately a lot, but so Moon Knight is obviously in the works for Marvel Studios at Disney Plus. It's been announced for a while, and we've all been theorizing as to who we think would play the character. We even did a casting cable on the character a while back, and we threw some names out there, but it was officially announced today that none other than Star Wars alum Oscar Isaac is officially in talks to play the character for Marvel. He will be taking on the title character of Moon Knight for the Disney Plus series in Marvel. Look, I'll be honest. This is a massive, massive get. We did not expect a name this big for this character, being that it is Disney Plus. We expected some names to be floated around, but there were rumors of some names, and they weren't as big as Oscar Isaac. And so there it is. Mr. Oscar Isaac is going to be playing Moon Knight for Marvel in their Disney Plus show and transferring into the MCU at some point because of how big the character is and how closely tied he is to a character named Blade, who will be in the movie verse, not on the Disney Plus side. And so being that Brian is a big Moon Knight fan, I'll go ahead and go to him first. What do you think of Brian? How do you like this casting?
First off, who said official?
I mean, I said official. It's basically official.
Okay, because I'm very cautious about it because of the chick from She-Hulk. Everyone's saying she's doing it, and then her going, "I'm not doing it." So my heart cannot take Oscar Isaac not being him.
Yeah, that's very rare though that it's like reported by all the big, news sites, and then that's not the truth. So hopefully this is real.
Yes. So backstory of Moon Knight. He is literally like one of the most difficult to understand comic book characters like ever, because he's had like 4 different origins. And honestly, I would not be surprised if Disney and Marvel takes from each of them, because each one has stories that would be absolutely perfect. Whereas if you just went after one, you would leave out a whole chunk of goodness in another story. And so I gave you the 2. I have the 2 that are probably going to be a merge of what it's going to be. So if you didn't know, Moon Knight is Mark Spector. That is his name. He originally debuted in the 70s in a comic called Werewolf by Night. And he was actually the villain in Werewolf by Night. He was sent to kill Werewolf by Night, which is very ironic because if you remember, before Moon Knight was announced, there was a heavy rumbling that this character, Werewolf by Night, was going to appear in Blade, in that dark-ish Marvel universe. And so the 70s story is he comes from a wealthy family, but is the son of a rabbi, so it establishes that he's a Jewish character, and he is tired of his life that he's doing and goes off to become a mercenary. And he travels the world and ends up meeting a character called Jean-Paul Duchamp, which ends up being his like buddy that he calls Frenchie. And they get hired by a mercenary-ish kind of terrorist-y guy called Bushman. And while they are out to a Egyptian dig archaeology thing, Bushman kills the lead archaeologist. There's a father and a daughter, and he kills the father. And Mark Spector turns on Bushman to protect the daughter, Marlene, however you want to. There's no correct way. I would assume it's going to be Marlena. He ends up protecting her, but Bushman in return basically mortally kills him. Doesn't kill him, mortally wounds him. He's about to die. And he goes into the tomb that they're excavating, where there is a giant statue of Khonshu, the Egyptian god of the moon, who also is like the god of vengeance and justice. And he essentially begs for some type of help. Khonshu ends up being the person that saves him, and he doesn't die from it, but instead becomes Moon Knight from Khonshu. But Khonshu is not a good god. He wants his blood. Like, that's his deal. And so then he goes back, and in order to work as Moon Knight, he establishes 2 other personalities. Stephen Grant, who is just like a millionaire entrepreneur type person, investor, and then Jake Locke, who is a taxi driver. And so he's kind of living all these different lives, which then kind of slowly start to mess with his mind, to which he ends up getting a dissociative identity disorder, where he can't figure out like what's happening in which. Everything's just kind of merging, and he essentially just kind of is a crazy person. No, I'm not spoiling it. It's his backstory, Rachel. He's so complex to explain. He is also like crazy, like at the same time. So like he's already kind of like crazy, and then doing all of this just made him more nuts. And then the other version, which it's pretty much the same story, except he comes from the wealthy family and has a brother who works in the CIA, and he starts out as a CIA agent, but the brother and the CIA start doing some shady shit, and he's like, I'm not a part of this, and leaves to become the mercenary, and a la that same story kind of unfolds. But yeah, it's so confusing, but it's so good at the same time.
It'll definitely be easier once they showed up on visual physical side of it. Jacob, what I mean, I know that we've all talked a little bit earlier today about the casting, but just what was your first thought when we had posted it in the chat that Oscar Isaac will be tackling Moon Knight for Marvel?
I was basically just yes with an exclamation point, because this is amazing.
Brian had like 15 behind.
I never thought. Look, when we did our casting
he never
table,
crossed my mind, but he's perfect.
when we did our casting table, we didn't even mention him, because like we never assumed that he would take this role, because we knew it was going to be a Disney Plus thing. And look, we know actors do TV. Any actor can do TV now.
Yeah.
But I just didn't think that Oscar Isaac would. I think he would take like a leading movie role, but I didn't think he would do this. And it makes me think they have bigger plans for him. I don't think we're going to get unless the series is extremely popular, I don't think we're going to get a Moon Knight movie, but I think he will appear in the MCU film.
He'll cross over for sure.
Yes. And when you have an actor like Oscar Isaac, who in my opinion is an A-list actor, this is nothing but great news. You need a great actor to play this role. So I'm totally down for this.
He does at some point become part of the West Coast Avengers, by the way.
Yeah, if they do split, if they do that future in the MCU, they could very well do that where they have different sides of it all, with the amount of characters in it. I did want to add, real quick before I move on to Brian, Gio, and Keith's thoughts. It was announced afterwards that Marvel did tap Egyptian filmmaker Mohamed Diab to actually do the story. He will be directing the series for Disney Plus and Marvel. He's an Egyptian filmmaker. He only has a few films under his belt, but he has a lot of writing credit for Egyptian films. And Brian, the character plays in the Egyptian mythology, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, that's like literally his whole entire background. Khonshu is an Egyptian god of the moon and the archaeology aspect.
I love when, people get their powers from an ancient god. Like, it's kind of like Greek mythology in a way, but this is obviously Egyptian mythology, so I love that.
Yeah,
Brian, what about you? Thinking of Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight?
It's amazing. It's he never crossed my mind because I went towards like the Middle Eastern type or just that type of ethnicity. But I mean, I think they honestly went for someone that can play the multiple personalities and like who you're going to believe is a crazy person, because Moon Knight, he is a crazy person at the end of the day. He does, if you haven't read his old comics, he's got some pretty funny stuff. He's calling like Dracula an F word, and like he always is screwing with the Avengers, and they're like, why is this guy around? He's crazy. And so I'm hoping they pull a little bit of the funny, but also like a lot of the serious, because I mean, name a project as big as superhero type stuff that's dived into mental health.
Joker.
That's true. Damn it. You're right.
Well, but you're talking about
but it's
one
not
of
common
dozens.
though.
You're talking about one of dozens. Like,
yeah,
it's still a good point,
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's going to be fantastic because they can kind of get away with just doing whatever they want and pick and pull. But I'm so excited for this. I think it's going to be phenomenal. And I love, and my last thing, I love that Marvel in this new phase is actually sticking to their word with, like, if it is a black character, they're getting black actors, black writers, black directors. Same with this. He is an Egyptian character, so they're getting an Egyptian person to write it. Like it, Shang-Chi, an all Asian cast with it's brilliant. It's what we need. And I know people are like, well, it took him 23 movies to do it. It's better late than never, honestly.
Right.
So,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Gio, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Oscar Isaac is great for this role. He definitely has the range. In Ex Machina, he played a creep. In Inside Llewyn Davis, he played a down on his luck musician. And Star Wars, he was the hotshot, cool, stubborn pilot. I don't know what he was in the X-Men Apocalypse, but that's nonetheless, he is a great actor. I don't know if he's A-list. You guys keep saying he's A-list. He's not A-list, but he's great for this role.
Keith?
I don't know. But yeah, no, I think he's great, man. I was thinking about I just watched The Most Violent Year.
So good. So
Awesome.
good.
Yeah, see, I've watched that movie twice. And yeah, that movie's so good. Yeah. So same. Love Oscar Isaac. Moon Knight's pretty hilarious. I'm curious which take they're gonna go with it. Are gonna be like the comedic Deadpool style, or yeah, probably a nice blend of
everything. He's gonna do everything.
Yeah. I like Moon Knight because he says my favorite thing is that he wears white because he wants the bad guys to see him coming.
Yeah,
which I love. He's kind of like the Marvel Batman in that vengeance and being the knight. So yeah, I think it's great. I really can't wait to see this.
Yeah, hopefully we'll learn more. Super excited. It seems like they're pushing this series pretty quickly, which means they could get to filming pretty quickly. I don't know what Oscar Isaac is currently doing at the moment. So real quick before we do move on, gentlemen, Ricardo Franco, thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rick.
Ask us whatever you want.
If you had a question with the super chat, just put it in the chat. I don't know if it just went through or not. But thank you so much for the donation, man.
Happy birthday, Rick. It's your birthday.
It was Rick's birthday. Happy birthday, Rick. Thanks for joining us, man.
Happy birthday, sir.
All right, gentlemen. Let's go ahead and move on to the big topic tonight. We got Halloween is coming up on Saturday. It's obviously spooky time of the year, and no better time than now to talk about some spooky movies on our end and some favorites of our personals. And so we're just gonna go around the horn and talk about some personal favorites of ours. We'll do it similar to how we did it last time. 5 and 4 will be somewhat quick, just kind of mentions, talking about it very quickly, and then we can mention our 3, 2, 1 much more thoroughly. And so, Jacob, if you want to point around the horn like you did last time, it's on you, sir. Whoever you want to start with.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go to Keith first. So yeah, we're starting with number 5, right?
Yes. Start with number 5. Okay. Yes.
All right. I guess I couldn't really put all 4 Scream movies on here, so
I'd have to do a similar thing with the franchise. Yeah.
Scream franchise.
I was tempted, but I'm gonna go with a recent one that I really like. The more I thought about it, and that's Halloween 2018.
Nice.
18, right? Is that 18 or 17?
Yeah, 18.
Okay, yeah. It's really good, man. I remember watching it at the time, and I thought it was good, but just I watched it again a few months back, and yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. I still hate Michael Myers. I don't understand that character. Don't understand his deal. Is he running or not? It's really annoying.
I've never watched those, but I've always wondered how he ends up
What is he? Right. It's ridiculous. And now he's 75 years old, and he's picking guys up, putting them up on a fence post or whatever. But the movies are still good. This one's really good. I actually like all the characters in it. I like all the young characters. I like the new take on it. I like what they did with Laurie, Jamie Lee Curtis' character, Laurie, whatever, Stroud, whatever.
Laurie Strode, yes.
Strode, right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, with the PTSD she's going through, because it follows up after the first film. If anybody doesn't know, and so yeah, I think it's really well done. Halloween. That's 2018 Halloween. That's my number 5. I really like that.
Nice. A good choice. Let's go to Gio.
All right. So first one I'll mention, and Keith, you help me out with this one. I kind of think this is a Halloween movie because one of the main characters is really scary, and that's Juice with Tupac.
Ooh, that's a good call.
That movie gets really dark, and he goes to some really crazy
Absolutely.
places. Yeah, Omar Epps, and I forget the other actors who were in there. But yeah, I'll quickly mention Juice. It was
Stand
just
by, Rick.
outside the box. But when thinking about Halloween movies earlier today, I was like, man, what's a movie that's? And I was like, man, yeah, like that movie. And I have a lot of buddies who love that movie. But like I said, Tupac, really underrated actor. And in that movie, he goes really crazy in that movie. So that's my number 5.
Good call.
Nice. Jake Berlin.
Okay, so my number 5, I actually went animated for this one, and it's a movie that I absolutely adore. I've adored it since I was a kid, and I'm a big fan of the property itself. Oh man, sorry.
Stop watching baseball.
I'm sorry. Number 5 for me is Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island.
Nice.
I love this movie. It's a movie that I will watch all the time. I think that it's such a well done Scooby-Doo movie. I remember watching it on VHS as a kid so many times. I just love the idea to the plantation, and obviously we know the adventures of Scooby-Doo and everything, but it just felt so real to me as a kid. You know, it came out a long time ago, and it kind of stuck with me. Hell yeah, Chuck! Hell yeah, man! Got to throw a Scooby-Doo movie in there. All those Scooby-Doo movies are perfect Halloween movies. So yeah, I will go with Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island as my number 5.
Brian?
Are you making it so you get to be the last one?
No, it's gonna switch up. It's not gonna be. I mean, I'm gonna be the last one for number 5. Yeah.
So for me, we know that I'm probably going to have Powder Puffish movies, but
Powerpuff Girls? No, I'm just kidding.
No.
A Halloween special part.
Probably not anything you guys are going to have. But my number 5 is Don't Breathe. That movie is so good.
So good.
So good. Gio and Keith, have you not seen it?
Jacob, have you seen it?
I've seen it. Yeah.
I'm adding it to the list.
All right. I'm confused. So the notes said choose Halloween movies, not necessarily horror movies.
It can be either.
So,
Halloween horror, because we know I'm a big puss and I have to make it a little Halloween and not just horror.
Yeah, it can be either. It can be either. Horror movies are Halloween. Halloween movies are sometimes horror, but not all the time horror.
Okay.
Because we know my ass isn't going to be putting Scream or Nightmare on Elm Street.
Well, no, I thought we were going more like Halloween Town, like those type of movies, you know, rather than than Don't Breathe. But it can be either or. It's totally fine. Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah, Don't Breathe, so good. Doesn't get enough credit. I'm not going to say more because I'm abso-freaking-lutely putting it on the challenge list for Gio. And
I would love to do a watch along for that movie.
Is it not on the list? I'm surprised.
No.
Wow.
Here's John's number 5. I am so happy
great.
someone said this because I left it on my list hoping someone would say it. Such a good movie.
Well, maybe it's on Jacob's.
It very well could be.
Maybe.
It definitely is.
We'll see.
All right. What's your number 5 then, Jacob?
So I had Halloween 2018 almost made my list. It almost made that number 5 spot, but I had to bump it off. So my number 5 is going to be The Conjuring. This is
not surprised.
This is one of the best horror movies ever made, in my opinion, and I think there's an argument to be made. It's the best horror movie ever made, and not to say that it's the scariest movie ever made, but when I look, actually, Conjuring 2 was coming out, and Gio was like, "You haven't seen The Conjuring?" And I was like, "No," and we sat down and watched it, and I don't know if you remember that day, Gio. I was like blown away, and I was like, "This is one of the best narrative-wise, as far as characters and story and everything combined. James Wan is a genius. I love The Conjuring, and I guess any scary movie qualifies as a Halloween film. So, yes, I would definitely check out The Conjuring if you have not."
All right, real quick, before we get to ours, Anthony had dropped in his top 5 here, and we'll just start with his number 5. And his number 5 for him is Night of the Living Dead, I believe is his 5th. So Night of the Living Dead brings it to number 5.
He said it right here.
Oh, all right, there you go. Number 5 is in the star. Nesferatu. I can't say that.
Nosferatu.
There you go. Cool.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. You feel free to you guys put yours along with when we do ours. That'd be kind of fun.
All right, so let's go to Jake for his number 4.
Oh, you're throwing me in a pickle. Okay, let's see. No, let's save that one. Let's save that one. Oh, I have that one on here twice. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7.
To the guy that tells us to hurry up.
Okay, my number 4. Oh, this hurts. Okay, my number 4 is a movie that was actually already mentioned, but not in the way of actually ranking it. My number 4 is Halloween Town, the Disney Channel.
Oh wow! I didn't know if anyone would choose it. That's why I used it as an example. Yeah,
I know everyone's like, "Oh my god, that's your favorite Halloween movie." Wait. I think the Halloween Town movies are brilliant. I think they're so much fun. They're so different. They're so adventurous. They play to that kid spirit, this other dimension with witches and ghouls and goblins and all this type of stuff. It's very creative. It's also very well done. And it's not this campy Disney movie that you get these days. It's actually like a legit movie. Like it probably could have been released in theaters and made a lot of money. But they released it on Disney Channel, which is a Disney Channel original movie. So yes, and it's something I watch every October. And I am so happy that Disney Plus has it available now at my fingertips. So number 4 for me is Halloween Town.
Good
that is a
choice.
good choice. Disney had some of the
this.
best like straight to Disney Channel horror stuff. Yeah.
What? I've never heard of this. Does this have like Drake and Josh or Zendaya or?
So honorable.
Zach.
Another shout out is another Disney horror movie straight to Disney Channel. Don't Look Under the Bed. I used to be terrified of that movie.
That movie is amazing.
It's not on my list, but
that movie is amazing.
it used to scare the crap out
Rick's
of me.
movie is pretty good too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Rick!
Yeah.
Pull out my heartstrings, Rick.
Is
Good
Gabby
choice,
in the room?
Jake.
Ask her if she'd pick the Mary Kate
She's
and Ashley.
watching a television show. She knows all about it.
Let's go to you, Brian, for your number 4.
I'm simple, and I picked it because
Can't go wrong with that. And that's the new one.
Which
Well,
one?
I guess the old one was a TV miniseries, I guess.
the new
Oh, which one though? No, but which one? The chapter 1 or 2?
the first
Part 1. Okay, yeah.
because that was just wild. That was like honestly probably the first like movie that I went to that I was like legitimately like I'm terrified. This is like a scary movie, and I'm gonna probably scream. But it was good. I love that movie. It's a good one. Jake, I was gonna ask Gabby if she likes the Mary Kate and Ashley Halloween movie.
Dude, she's been watching them all month. Let's move on.
Yeah, so kind of in the vein of Jake's choice, and look, this might be higher on other people's choices, but it comes in at number 4 for me, and that is Hocus Pocus. Hocus Pocus is
So
just
happy you got mentioned.
one of the best.
Jacob, did you see that it was announced today they're doing a sequel?
Are they really?
It's official. The original
Wow.
cast is coming back.
My
wow.
mother said she's coming.
Yeah.
That they're coming back.
They said the entire cast is coming back.
They need to release that in theaters, or it's probably going to go to Disney Plus.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
hey, that's pretty cool.
Gotta be
Yes,
showing
this
somewhere.
you can't go wrong. Like Hocus Pocus is literally on like all the time during Halloween, and now we have streaming services. But when we were kids, it was on all the time on cable.
It basically just ran every second
is
of
just-
October.
It's like the classic Halloween family film. You can't go wrong. Like I never get tired of watching it during Halloween time because I'm just in that Halloween mood. So can't go wrong with Hocus Pocus.
Yes, it is.
Let's go to you, Gio, for your number 4.
It's Hocus Pocus. Yeah.
Nice. Hey, we're gonna have another. What was that movie that was number 4 last time on all of our lists? Remember that on 4 of our lists? But
Oh, it was the heist movies. Was it?
yeah, it was one of the heist movies. But
Ocean?
that's
Yeah.
crazy. One might be on a streak here. No.
Yeah, I mean this is a classic. I mean, you talk about the 3 leads: Sarah Jessica Parker, Betty Milder, and Kathy
Good call.
Najimy, I think is her name. It's just it's a classic. We grew up watching it, still watch it to this day. It's a lot of fun. Man, Sarah Jessica Parker at that time, man, talk about like one of your first on-screen crushes.
Her. It should have been the girlfriend of the main character, the girlfriend.
Yeah,
I mean, she was our age back then.
hey, there's just something about bad females.
No, I had a crush on Sarah Jessica Parker too from this movie.
Yeah,
I feel you, Gio. I feel you.
You know, Anthony, that's another good Disney channel.
Yeah, dude, I can talk DComs all day. Let's talk DComs.
That's what I'm saying, dude. They put out so many of these.
Why we
Keith,
haven't done a ranking of that?
Vampire.
We will. We
Yeah.
will do a
Keith
ranking.
doesn't know any of these because he's like, what? Keith, what is your number 4?
4. All right. Shoot, I lost my. Okay. It's a tough one because I kind of had to split it between 2, but I had to flip a coin. Excuse me. But I'm gonna go with 30 Days of Night.
Oh,
Love this movie.
Movie's awesome.
So good.
it sounds scary.
It's so good.
Oh man, Josh Hartnett, Danny Houston.
Danny Houston's the bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the main vampire there. It's vampires, which ordinarily, excuse me, it came out during the vampire, the whatever.
Yeah, it came out around World War Z and all that stuff.
You're right. Yeah. Kind of like it's kind of near the tail end.
Zombieland and all that stuff. Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say zombies started taking over from vampires at that point, but this is actually a really good one. It's probably one of the best vampire movies, in my opinion, ever. But the premise is, there's vampires that go up to Alaska when it's 30 days of night. Nighttime all day long, like 23 hours a day, and so they go up there and eat people, do what vampires do. It's awesome. It's a really great movie. So yeah, 30 Days of Night.
I second that 100%. That ending too. Woo!
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna watch it tonight.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and go with my number 3, and this, in my opinion, this qualifies, and I'll explain it once I name it, and that is Pixar's Coco. I think this qualifies as a Halloween film because it's about
no argument
You
here.
don't need to explain it.
Dia de Muertos.
You are Hispanic. You should be able to say it.
I can't.
How do you say that?
Never taught. Nope, can't say it.
Yeah, de los Muertos.
But it was so that's technically like November 1st to November 2nd, but obviously Halloween is inspired by that. So this movie just screams fall, it screams Halloween when he hits the guitar and the orange leaves go flying. Like, it is the perfect movie to watch with your family or with a date or whatever on Halloween night or on Halloween weekend. So I absolutely love Coco.
It's a great call. That definitely qualifies. No argument here.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, to be honest, but I think it definitely does. And it's kind of like, if you're a little kid, it's kind of scary because all the stuff going on. Yeah. Brian, let's go to you for your number 3.
My number 3, I don't think anyone else is going to put it, but I have A Quiet Place.
Interesting.
Because, I mean, the movie's brilliant. It's literally a silent movie almost, minus a few parts. Like, it's a freaking silent movie. And that bathtub scene, that movie is just, I don't think I've ever been in a movie theater and been able to hear my heartbeat like that movie. But A Quiet Place for me.
Yeah, it's definitely a scary movie for some people. Yeah. Awesome. Jake, what is your number 3?
Oh man.
You're still deciding on
this. Is so hard.
I will say I knew my 5, but the order is so difficult because Coco could have been my number 1, to be honest.
You're just killing me. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. Number 3 is a movie we've already talked about earlier in the show. It is the brilliant The Guest. The Guest is just it's such a brilliantly done film, in my opinion.
Don't speak too much on it.
Well, I'm not gonna say it. Yeah, as I posted on Twitter last week, I've already watched it 3 times this month, and it came out this month.
Oh, wow!
I cannot get enough of this movie. I love it so much from start to finish. It's so brilliantly written. The dialogue is incredibly smart as well, and it really is like a really cool Halloween movie that kind of comes around at the back end. It has a very indie feel to it, which is why it appeals to me so much. I really enjoy smaller indie films from directors who are really just kind of giving their own creative direction. And it really, really works. And so, The Guest is, I've watched it 3 times a month. That's enough. The Guest number 3.
You'll probably watch it again one more time.
Yeah,
I'm going to watch it this week because Keith is watching it 100%.
There you go. Keith, what is your number 3?
My number 3, I'm right there along with you, Anthony. This was when I first, Nightmare on Elm Street. It's my number 3.
Nice.
Oh, the old one, the original, 1984, not the stupid new one.
That's a Johnny Depp one, right?
Yes, that was his very first movie. So,
Yeah.
And he only got that part because he was I think Jackie Earl Haley was auditioning, and it's just the classic story of he was there with him, and the people were like, "Hey, do you act?" He's like, "Nah, I'm just here with my friend." And he said, "Now come on in, read for this part," and he got the part. I mean, and it's
Wow.
because it's Johnny Depp. Imagine 18-year-old Johnny Depp. He's probably the most gorgeous man they'd ever seen. So they cast him in the part. But anyway, yeah, 1984, Wes Craven, the GOAT, one of the GOATs in the genre. And yeah, man, Heather Langenkamp, she's been great over the years with the role as Nancy, as the lead character. She's one of the great scream queens of all time. And she still does when we could do conventions and stuff, she would still do conventions with the movie and respond to fans and stuff. And obviously Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger, one of the most iconic horror figures ever.
I did not know that was Johnny Depp in that movie.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Plays her boyfriend.
It's been a while.
And yeah, that's my number 3.
Nice. Gio, what is your number 3?
It Follows. Talk about.
Ooh,
Oh man,
that's
still
a
haven't
great
seen it.
film.
Yeah. Oh, what?
Add it to the list. Somebody needs to be active. Add it to the
Yeah,
list.
that's-
I'm writing things down.
Whenever we hear Keith say he hasn't seen a movie, write it down immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Tucker. It's a unique concept.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sexually transmitted demon. Like that's brilliant. And
Brian, a demon is transmitted to people through having sex. That's the premise of the movie,
Yep.
and it's brilliant.
yeah, I mean, the idea
I thought
that
he was kidding.
Nope,
the
that's
idea
the
that
premise.
literally anybody could be the demon. You could be in the mall, and oh my god, oof. But yeah, It Follows. Definitely check it out.
Jacob, is everybody done with number 3s?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go with my number 2 because my number 2 is It Follows.
Well, that's okay. Well, it actually was going to go to you. I'm kind of going like this. If you guys haven't noticed, it's like an 8.
Yes. See, Rachel caught on to me just standing
No,
here.
you were actually next because it's like going crisscross. Yeah.
That's a good one, John. That's a good one. Mine is It Follows is again kind of going on board with the guest. It came out around the same time. It also stars Micah Monroe, who was also in The Guest.
Mm-hmm.
The film is very, very smartly written. It's a very smart film. When you think about it, Brian's reaction said it all. A sexually transmitted demon. You think of it, you're like, okay, that's kind of campy, but it's so serious, it's so horrifying. The other key aspect of what Gio left out is that the demon walks. It follows. It never stops walking. It always follows you. And so that's the idea behind the film, and that's why people transfer it, because once you transfer it, it then follows them. And so it's literally just a constant walking through and it's the way that it's paced, the music that is implemented to make it feel more intensifying is terrifying. It's very well done. Again, with that indie film, someone just kind of putting their creative mind to his piece of paper and just throwing up this incredible idea. It's very, very smart. I actually was able to see it in theaters. I actually saw it in theaters and it was incredible.
Nice.
And so, number 2 for me is It Follows.
So
All right, Brian.
Basically, everyone's having sex.
Not really.
No. John,
not like
yes,
that.
100%. This is considered horror, and I had a very hard time leaving it off my
That's a
list.
good one. Brian, what is your number 2?
Ready or not?
Oh wow! Wow, that's crazy.
When he put that, I went, God damn it.
All right, I can tell Brian didn't watch a lot of horror movies when he was younger because all of his horror movies are modern and newer. Yeah.
Dude, I watched this the other day, Ready or Not, and freaking love it. That movie is so good, and it's like, I don't even know. I'm gonna buy that movie, and to think that I would buy one of those scary-ish movies, like
I need 4 sequels to this movie.
It's so I need one for like each board game now.
That's what I'm saying. I need one for each,
like this
side of the
good.
game. Yes.
Like
Yeah.
give me like each one of those cards. Give me one of those and use the same demon thing. It's wow. It blew me. I literally was like this the whole entire time watching.
I'm with Chuck on this one.
It's so good. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It is. Yeah. Oh God.
Boo. Sorry.
What? Did the Dodgers win the World Series?
They're one strike away.
Interesting. That is scary.
Go on, guys. Go on.
That is definitely scary.
If you haven't seen, John, honestly, if I've seen it and liked it, and like I'm a big wuss, you'll like it. Just go see that if you haven't, or watch it, I should say.
Yeah. All right, my number 2 is The Nightmare Before Christmas. Funny, it has Christmas in the title, but it is definitely a Halloween movie. There's a song that goes, "This is Halloween." I love this movie so much. And look, my top 3, honestly, I could have moved my top 5 all around. All of them could have been number 1 through 5. But I just think The Nightmare Before Christmas is, and Keith said it before, you can watch it on Christmas or Halloween. And we should be watching it this for Friday, but I guess we're not. I guess we can rig polls these days.
We're watching a horror film.
But I will look, if you haven't seen The Nightmare Before Christmas and you want something cool to watch with your kids, or even just by yourself or with some friends or with a date, whatever the case is, Nightmare Before Christmas is a great film to watch.
Rick, you the man. Rick, thank you.
Hey.
Thank you, Rick.
Rick, stop it. It's your birthday.
Go spend your birthday. Go spend that money on your birthday, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
but congratulations to all the Dodgers fans. California, go
Hey,
California.
everybody should be happy for Joe Kelly.
Jacob is not happy right now as a Giants fan.
I'm not going to say anything.
Stop saying "Go California" because yours is literally the reason you want Giants fans to be pissed off.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right, Keith, let's go to you for your number 2 Halloween film.
My number 2, aside from this World Series result here,
The 2020 World Series is my number 1, by the way.
Yeah.
yes, I'm happy for Clayton Kershaw, but that's it. LA is going to be even more unbearable than they already are.
Can
now,
you imagine?
Lakers and Dodgers. Oh God, yeah.
We're gonna now have to hear LA's title town.
Yeah, exactly. Just forever. They'll never let it go. Anyway, but I'm happy for Kershaw. My number 2. This was tough, but mine's also A Nightmare Before Christmas. This was another.
Nice.
This was another coin flip. You guys probably know what my number 1 is, but
I'm actually not sure.
Yeah.
oh,
but we'll talk about it when we get there.
oh, never mind. Okay, well, good. Yeah. What can I say? This movie's classic. I've never met a person that doesn't like this movie, of any age. Honestly.
Hey, the boogeyman still scares me, man. Is that what his name is?
Sure.
Boogie.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
still
absolutely.
scares me, to be honest.
Yeah.
When I see the blow up ones, I'm like,
if I had, and I was in high school when it came out, but like
Rick,
if I had a
stop
little bit
it.
younger.
There you go, Jacob. Rick,
okay.
thank you.
Well,
Rick,
I'll take
Thank
that.
you.
Stop.
Thank you so much for
Thank
the
you,
support,
Rick.
by
You
the way.
need to stop.
Rick, you're a legend, man. You're a bloody
We're
legend.
gonna cut you off.
That's great. Good call there. Good call. But what more can I say? Maybe we'll put it up again. Hopefully, I'll get Disney Plus at Christmas time. We'll watch it then.
Yeah, I mean, I hope. Hey, there we go.
it for you, Keith.
There we go. All right, so now I'll go to me for my number 1, and my number 1 is none other than the movie called Halloween, but the original Halloween is my number 1.
Okay.
The Halloween franchise is other than the first one and the most recent one, none of the other ones are good movies, but I actually first Rob Zombie one is a guilty pleasure. It's not a good movie, guilty pleasure though. But the first Halloween movie is so classic. The way they do the POV of the killer, and it's amazing. And I think it's obviously regarded as one of the best horror films of all time. It is honestly like I like the new Halloween, right? It's a good, fun movie, but it doesn't scare me. The first Halloween scares the living crap out of me still to this day when I watch it. It's just so like the low budget feel scares me because it makes it feel like it's real rather than a movie. And this is my Michael Myers. I don't care what you guys say. He is the best slasher of all time, in my opinion. And look, he just runs really, really fast. He has like superhuman strength. But when he gets there, he just makes it look like he wasn't running. That's how he does it. All right, Brian, what is your number one?
But I've already said that he's got those shoes with the wheels in them. That's what he.
Oh, hey, but hold on a second. You know what's funny to me? The first Halloween, he like steals a car and he's like just driving around the town, like just looking at people. It's so funny to me. Like, when do we ever see a killer like just get in a car and just like post around town? Like, it's so funny to me.
I saw a TikTok someone made the other day of like where they like separate running, and it's like every time Michael Myers or whatever his name is tries to get off, and he's just around the corner going.
Like, yeah, he does, like as soon as he gets out of your view, he's just sprinting like super fast, and then he like hops on buses and stuff. Like he uses whatever he can, you know, like he steals a skateboard and rides on the back of a car. Like he does it all.
It was so perfect. He thought he had like a map of like all the shortcuts, and
exactly. Yeah,
like,
I would love to see that.
That's funny.
And the movie's called Halloween.
Yeah. So mine's. You should know. I'm basic. It's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Like,
oh, nice.
I
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Sure. And I've seen this movie to the point where it's like I can quote it. It's one of those movies to me.
The vinyl goes on sale tomorrow from a certain someone.
Oh, buy it for me.
Really?
My birthday's coming up. So yeah, I love A Nightmare Before Christmas. Keith's so right that everyone loves it in every generation, no matter old or younger, loves that movie. And
I've never seen it.
Are you really?
Wow.
Really? Oh wow.
All right, writing that one down.
You know what? No, we're changing the watch everyone. So we're changing the watch along.
I'm
We're gonna
curious
watch
if I think it's so great that I think he'll love it still. But I'm curious as an adult watching it for the first time. How
I'm curious. Yeah,
it's funny because it's one of those movies. My mom is so anti like aliens and creepy things and blah blah blah. She loves this movie, and it's. If my mom, like, if you knew how she was with, like, she hates Star Wars because there's aliens and she's like, ew, they're so gross. And she likes something like this, then it's a solid movie. So, yeah, for me, Nightmare Before Christmas, it's fantastic.
Nice. So, Jake, we're going to you for your number one, man.
I do want to comment on Chuck's comment real quick. Chuck, it's in my honorable mentions, man. It just barely missed the list. I think Alien is a brilliant horror film. My number one, in my opinion, there is no other number one. It's a movie that was so crazy in an idea that it worked so well. It was so out there. It was so confident in itself, and it has one of the greatest performances to ever grace the horror scene, and that is Zombieland. Zombieland,
nice.
That's
a good one.
Perfect Halloween movie. Woody Harrelson is a perfect performance in this movie. Jesse Eisenberg is great. Emma Stone is great. Abigail Breslin is great. Bill Murray is great. The movie is brilliant from start to finish. It's chaotic. It's bloody. It's violent. It's funny. It's everything you want from a Halloween movie. And the sequel may even top it. I'm still considering that one. But number one for me, for my Halloween movies, is Zombieland.
That's great.
You like
and
the sequel that much?
I effing love this
part
movie.
of this is like what movies are best to watch on Halloween. Not necessarily the scariest, and Zombieland is one of the best to watch on Halloween.
I will say real quick, because we might not be able to get in our honorable mentions. Maybe we'll put them up on Twitter.
Yeah.
A lot of the classic slashers and classic horror movies are kind of my honorable mentions. That's why a lot of them weren't mentioned. I have a lot of them through that. Well,
there's so many, like, we got so many good modern horror films like in the past decade. So,
and I'm not a huge slasher person, which is why you don't see a lot of them for me.
I'm not a big Freddie or Jason fan, to be honest. Keith, let's go to you with your number one.
That was another. I know we gotta go, but that was another coin flip for me, Jake, for my number one. So
Really?
yeah, that was my that was almost my number one. But
Yeah.
I love that movie too. I love them both. Same thing. But my number one, of course, it's the greatest of all time. Scream.
Duh.
Honorable mention for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck? I should have known that.
Yeah, man.
For some reason, you talked about it earlier, so I thought you mentioned it already.
Yeah. I mean, what can you say? This one revitalized the genre. Also another one from the GOAT, Wes Craven, and revitalized the genre. Like I said, revitalized Drew Barrymore, brought her back to the consciousness, to the public consciousness. Introduced us to a bunch of other great actors that we know: Jamie Kennedy, Nev Campbell,
Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard, everybody, man. Courtney Cox.
It also introduced us to the rules of horror movies.
Absolutely, exactly right. And it's such a.
I'll be right back.
Isn't Sabretooth in it, or no? Am I thinking of somebody else?
He is in Scream 3.
Liev Schreiber's in one of the Scream movies, right?
He's in Scream 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, like I said, couldn't put all four of them on there, but of course, this one's the classic. It's got to go on the list. It's
definitely one of the most classic like Halloween masks for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ghostface. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, it's a classic. All right, Gio, better knock this out of the park, man. What
it's
is
100% a horror movie? That movie
it is. That movie's terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
100%.
Probably the scariest movie ever because I'm terrified of sharks.
Chuck, you can always come here to talk with us, man.
Yeah.
Clowns and sharks, man. My worst fears. Gio, what is your number one?
Write that down.
All right, so real quick, you skipped my number two. It was.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
Oh shoot, my bad. I don't know how I did that.
Wow.
My apologies.
But it's okay. The Conjuring is number two.
Conjuring.
Yeah.
No, hey, what is it about that movie that you love so much?
Well, it introduced me to James Wan and just how much of a master he is at the horror genre.
Of course, he's gonna tie it back to DC.
Oh yeah, he's pretty good at directing DC movies too. I mean, $1 billion. Yeah.
I will say, I want to see him do The Trench really bad.
Yes.
Well, he's not directing that.
Oh.
Conjuring for Fast and Furious. Whichever one he did.
Yes.
So he did that. He did Furious 7. And
Yeah. Okay.
One honorable mention, James Wan, Insidious, the first one, amazing.
Mhm.
Terrifying.
Yeah. But my number one is a David Fincher classic, one of his more overlooked movies, and that is Zodiac.
Oh, interesting.
Good movie, man.
Man, dude,
Incredible.
this movie just so freaking terrifying. It's so scary.
Because it's real, too.
Yeah, based on real life. The Zodiac Killer. Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr.
Mark
who else?
Ruffalo.
Somebody
Mark
else.
Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo. Yeah. Man, dude, this movie is. I mean, it's David Fincher. So well crafted, so well done. He really does horror top notch. I mean, one of the best. So, Zodiac for me at number one. I think it's still on Netflix. Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Check it out.
That scene where her, like the couple, like the young couple that's like in the park or whatever.
Oh, my
Dude,
goodness.
the lake.
I've been to that park and that lake. It's
You're right.
yeah.
Oh.
And then you see from the distance him walking up, and they're like, "Oh, huh, that's weird." But then he gets closer.
That is so terrifying. Well, thank you, Gio. I'm going to have nightmares now going to sleep. But I think that's going to do it for this episode of Apocaflix Now. That was super
number one?
fun.
Oh, he did
Yeah,
Scream.
he did.
That's right.
Scream, yeah. And I apologize, Gio. I did not intentionally skip over your number two. I was trying to go like crisscross, so not everybody went in the same order.
I want to mention two honorable mentions before we get out of here: The Faculty and The Mist.
I've never seen The Faculty, but
but
also honorable mention Happy Death Day 1 and 2.
Brian, write down The
How
Faculty.
did I forget that?
Brian, write down The Faculty.
How did I forget Happy Death? I love those.
Yeah, those are Brian horror movies for sure. And they're rated PG-13, no gore or anything.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone hanging out with us. Thank you guys.
Hey, that was one of our most fun episodes. We had to
And
go
Rick-
hour 20 for the Halloween
Rick, happy
special.
birthday! Thank you for the donations, man.
Rick, birthday.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Rick, happy birthday, by the way. Now, I've never seen that. That sounds scary, and
Yeah. Thank you all
The
again
original-
for your input and your super chats. That was amazing, especially the Rick guy. Thank you.
The Rick guy.
Appreciate it.
Rick,
I don't-
happy birthday.
Rick, Ricardo, yes, happy birthday. I don't know why you're giving us money on your birthday, but thank you. Don't forget to check out our Batman v Superman, the extended edition watch along this Friday. Follow us on social media at Apocaflix Movies. Check out our audio podcast and go buy a shirt at TeePublic. We'll see you all later this week.